The meeting we had the other night was special. I think it's oh, I'm sorry. Should be. I think it was the meeting of the 23rd. We had the executive session, the joint executive session. The issue I've got, nothing about what we did, but to be honest with you, I had no knowledge when we got here that we were going to go in executive session for that topic. And with the magnitude that we're talking about, I think it would have been better to find out before.
Well, this is a request that the development authority had that we go into executive session jointly at that time.
I don't have any problem with that. And I think I read the minutes and it goes back to the 16th. To me, that week we would have had enough time to have been told that more than likely this was going to come before us.
I think we got that information. When did we get that information, Daniel, on the resolution? In the executive session discussion for the, I guess it was the, are you talking about the gateway track?
Yes.
There was conversation going on all week with the IDA about what they wanted to do on that. I think we added the executive session maybe the day before, sometime right before the meeting, when Rick Wallace said he would like to talk at that meeting about that issue.
Well, that gives me the answer. It doesn't give me the information. I mean, I walked in 5-10 minutes before the meeting. Normally I get here 45 minutes, 30 minutes, and I usually, might have been here early. And probably at the meeting of the 16th with the IDA, I left at 7 to go to visitation from Commissioner Luke's father-in-law. So I missed that conversation about that track. But I would hope on something like that we get better information sooner, just to where I know what's going to be on the agenda. I mean, what we're asked, Mr. Chairman, let me put it to you this way: we're asked to back up a potential purchase. That's what we did.
And that's exactly what.
And I find out 5 to 10 minutes as I come into the door that we're going to be doing that.
Well, as we discussed in the executive session, that was brought out, and the commission was asked, do you want to support this or not? And that was a decision that was made at that particular time. And obviously, you were in favor of that at that point.
I was.
That was good.
Let me say that. I don't have any issue with that. I stand by what I did because I had heard the conversations have been going on. What I'm asking is, can we not be informed?
Well, I don't know how much more you can be informed when the information is presented at the executive session with the development authority on what's taking place.
I don't think it's not being lost. I mean, you knew on the 16th that they were going to do it. All I'm saying, even read the minutes, Mr. Chairman, read the minutes. But I think if you knew a day and a half before the meeting, at least tell us.
I think you've made your point, Mr. Horton. If there's any additional comments you want to make about it, please do so.
Well, here's my suggestion. If we know we're going to have an executive session, at least tell Gina so she can get the information out to us.
We have on every agenda, we have listed executive session if needed. That's on every agenda that we have. Am I correct, Ms. Gina?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any additional comments?
Mr. Chairman, I can't help but chime in. I was out of town and missed that meeting, but if there was conversation about that all week on a purchase of that magnitude, it seems to me as though there should have been some communication to commissioners that discussion was going on, rather than wait until everybody's in executive session and ask them to vote without sharing all the information that was happening during the week. That's my only. I mean, I'm not trying to beat this dead horse, and I heard you say that that's enough on this discussion. But it's very difficult to make good decisions when you don't have all of the information. And or you're not given any time with all of the information. That's my point. And as to the agenda, it's on there every week if needed. That doesn't really help you much when you walk in here and you don't know till you get here if you're going to have an executive session.
Well, sometimes, let's say they brings information to us at a late time or late day. That's when we have the opportunity to discuss that in executive session. I don't know any more than what is being done at this point. You know, that decision by the development authority, as I understand it, and Daniel, you can correct me if I'm wrong with this, but as I understand it, that's a decision that the development authority makes regarding exercise of an option. Obviously, the Board of Commissioners has to support and stand behind any kind of decision that the development authority makes with the funding for that. Am I correct?
That's correct. And let me clarify something. I didn't mean that they were discussing whether or not to do this, to solicit the board's support. What I meant was there was a lot of conversation among the IDA during the week about what they ought to do. And I'll just say there's a lot of enthusiasm on that board. And it really came from the IDA board late in the week to ask the commissioners to meet with them to talk about this. There was a lot going on last week. That, you know, maybe that could have been handled better. Maybe y'all could have gotten information sooner. But the truth is, that came from the IDA board. They're very enthusiastic about all this. I had calls from them all week, you know, on all the different things they would like to do. And they, my estimation is what they're going to wind up doing is not going to cost the board a penny. They're looking at a lot of different ways to handle this, and I don't think the board's ever going to actually spend any money on this.
Daniel, I've been going to the meetings just like Jim has, and I see the energy, and I applaud them for it. All I'm saying is if folks know that it's coming, the sooner we have that information that's going to be in an executive session. We could do that for a lot of issues that come on an executive session.
Well, Chuck, what I'm saying is, genuinely, there was no thought the board would go into executive session until about the day before, when the IDA folks, Rick Waller, Ed Perkins, and all of them started saying, let's talk to the board about it. Can't we talk to the board about it? And it got added in the middle of a million other things that were going on.
Well, then, more important is just if Gina knows, she can get the stuff out to us. I mean, it just helps us out instead of walking in the door and getting hit with it. Because I'll be honest with you, I told Brenda, I'm going to be back in 10 minutes. I thought what we were going to do was take 10, 15 minutes, and then we were told we're going into an executive session, and then so I call, and so I don't even know what the topic is. That's the point I'm making.
Any other remarks from Commissioner?